There we go. All right. So welcome again to our candidate forum for 2001, 2021, 2022 ASG. So just to go over how this is going to work, each candidate will have 6 minutes to do whatever they want. They can give a presentation, they can show a video of themselves. They can share their screen and share a PowerPoint. It is theirs and it is up to them, whatever they would like to do with it. It is intended for them to get their message out. So 6 minutes, I do have a 6-minute, oops, let me get one person back on here. There we go. I do have a 6-minute clock that will run. I'm going to show that to you right now. And of course, here we go. Can everybody see that? Can I get a thumbs up for everyone who can see it? Perfect. Yes, this 6-minute clock will run, and all candidates will know that that is how much time they have left. At the end of that 6 minutes, if you are still presenting, I will interject at that moment. If you don't need the full minutes, you don't, of course, have to use it all. You can simply indicate that you are finished, and then we will move on. So at the end of those 6 minutes, we will move on to the next candidate for that particular position. We will go from position to position. So for example, we will start with the candidates for president, then we'll go on to the candidates for vice president of finance, et cetera, et cetera. I do have to say that for candidates who are going to show a video of their presentation, please do make sure that when you share your screen, you share sound. You have to share computer sound, otherwise we will not be able to hear you. So when all candidates are finished presenting for a given position, so for example, president, we have Cole Hesterberg and Samantha Jimenez. When they are finished presenting, there will be an opportunity for 2 to 3 questions. And again, we do have a couple of this year's ASG members on here as well. So I expect some good questions. You can ask a question in the chat or by raising your hands by using the reaction button, if that works best, like I just did right there. I do ask that all questions are positive. Again, I think as student leaders, it's very important that we keep positive messages about our ideas and ourselves, and we refrain from any negative messages about other people. Any questions with that format? All right. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Cole. You will be our first person for today. And I may have to make you a co-host so you can share your screen. There you go. So Cole, go ahead and come on board. Feel free to share your screen. And as soon as you start, I will click the 6-minute timer.
Okay, hello everyone, my name's Cole. I'm going to be sharing a video today, just to fit what Patrick said, just to introduce myself and my messaging. Here's that video on Patrick. I did click share sound, so let me know if you can or can't hear it.
Hi, my name's Cole Hesterberg and I'm running for the office of Student Body or Student Government President for the year 2021-2022. So first, why am I running? Well, I have a few collective goals in mind for the student government and close community college that I think I and the college and the government itself stand in prime position to capitalize on. So first, the student government. I think first of all, the student government needs to take a more public role in the student activities and public events in order to both promote the college, promote the student body, but also clarify what the student body and student government's relationship. In other words, the student government just needs to have a more public persona in the mind of the student body. And so moving on, I think the student government, it has a prime opportunity to improve how it achieves its mission. That mission being the accurate and complete representation of the student body. And so I think the primary way in which you go about improving the way in which the student government accomplishes its mission is by increasing the number of members it has. So therefore, we gain more access to more perspectives, more backgrounds, and the combination of those two would better represent the student body in its entirety. And so first, the whole student body is made up of a lot of adult students who aren't represented at all in the student government currently, and a lot of various ethnic and other groups that their perspective just isn't there in the student government currently. And so the way in which we go about this is by getting more members. But how do you go about getting more members? I've brainstormed two strategies in which this can be achieved. The first being increasing member benefits. Now we currently get priority registration, but if we add, per se, textbook credit from the bookstore, or even just a small salary, such as what the colleges do down in LA, in the LA district, any combination of these things would serve to make, first of all, for adult students, it would serve to put value on their time. That way they're not giving up time they could be spending on coursework. They're not giving up time that they could be actually working and earning a wage for. This time is actually spent earning some form of financial value. And so therefore we get the perspective we need in the government, we get access to that demographic, and then they get what they need in order to be a part of our student government. And so that's one way we can go about it. But also, if by increasing member benefits, it appeals more broadly to the general student population. So more students will want to be involved because they get more out of it. And because they get more out of it, we get their perspective, their unique background, and ultimately we get more members so we can better do our jobs. Another way we can go about doing the same thing is by going out to the various clubs and groups that are designed to represent the various ethnic groups on campus and simply ask for one of their members to join our voting body. And that has the same effect of more members and more perspectives. So we have more opinions around certain matter, and we have more people who can actually do the job of the student government. And that's vote on various stuff that comes into our meetings. And so through the combination of those two strategies, along with just a brainstorming session, if elected, the student government can take a prime opportunity to improve how they achieve their mission. And that's representing the student body in its entirety. And so moving into my goals for the college, I think the college is doing great. We're the only college in Fresno County to actually have a positive enrollment over the course of the pandemic, with every other Fresno community college actually having negative drops in enrollment. So the college is doing great in addition to your standard transfer rates, et cetera, et cetera. The thing where Columbus Community falls short is actually taking advantage of those facts. We don't advertise the fact that we're doing so well. We're not on these the databases where students use and look at stats to make their decision. We're not on the U.S. News Community College database. We're not on Niche where they rank and profile certain facts about a college. We're not on these sites where students actually use to make decisions. And so a core goal of mine, if elected, would be to work with the administration to have a direct line of communication with these companies so that we can actually start the process of becoming a part of their database. And that by doing so, we both spread the reputation of Clovis Community College, and we better advertise the fact that we're doing so well. And I think this is something administration should be excited about because it's advertising how well they and the student body are doing. And so I think that is a prime goal for the college moving forward. And so why am I the best suited for the presidency? Well, first, I'm the current vice president, so I already have experience in weekly meetings with the college president. I've always served on various ad hoc committees. I've served in leadership and non-leadership roles. And ultimately, I recognize that leadership is a service position. Leaders are there to represent and objectively and accurately categorize the various perspectives in their organizations. And I think that's something that I'm uniquely suited to do due to my experience in debate, where you have to argue both sides of a topic. Even if you don't agree with one or you agree with one, you have to argue both sides accurately, objectively to win. And so my experience with debate uniquely prepares me to represent and convey and communicate around perspectives that may or may not be my own. And so I feel like I'm uniquely qualified for the capacity and the job of being the president of the student body of the Associated Student Government. And ultimately, I recognize that everyone does their best work when they're connected to the work that they do. And ultimately, I hope that through my passion and eagerness that you see that illustration come true. That my passion and my eagerness to do the job and accomplish the goals I've laid out for you uniquely qualify me for the office of president. And it's because of that reason that I urge you to go vote Cole Hesterberg for president. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Cole. So just a reminder to everyone who entered into the meeting, while Cole's video was playing, Cole Hesterberg is a candidate for ASG president. And there will be an opportunity to ask questions of both Cole and our other candidate, Samantha, after she gives her 6-minute presentation. So be thinking of those questions. Feel free to put them in the chat. And without further ado, we're going to move on to our next candidate for ASG president, Samantha Jimenez. Samantha, do you need to share your screen? I can make you a co-host as well.
No, I don't have to share my screen.
Okay, no worries. So just let me know when you want me to start the timer and we will get started.
You can start the timer. So hello everyone, my name is Samantha Jimenez. I am a nursing major, and during my first year of ASG, I was the ICC president where I would hold meetings, and that was with like various clubs, and I would hear their concerns as well. And I'm currently holding the position as the vice president of the external affairs. I do have like experience with, like advocating for students. I mean, I voted for resolutions this past month. And then with this in mind, I do know like how much responsibility I will be having as a president. And I'm very involved in closed community college, such as I'm a member in the Alpha Gamma Sigma, and I'm also a part of that Planteers Club. And as president, I would like to hear and discuss about the various concerns that might have, whether it is within an online setting or just getting situations resolved. And I would be able to like stand up for what students believe in. One of the current things I'm heavily working on right now with one of the ASG members is that implementing ethnic studies at Clovis Community College. I personally believe that implementing ethnic studies would help students become more knowledgeable and become more respectful for each other, and even celebrate like diversity. So yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, and I apologize about the sound with someone entering and leaving the meeting. I've now turned that off, so I apologize, Samantha. Any questions for either Cole or Samantha, or both? All right, we got some questions. So we're going to go ahead and get to a couple. And what we'll do is, in the interest of time, we will have about a 1-minute timer on the answering of these questions. And so we're going to go ahead and get to 2 of them. And so the first one is, at what point did you decide and did you know that you wanted to run for ASG president? So what we'll do is, Cole, since you went first with your presentation, Samantha, can we have you go first with answering that question?
Yeah.
And then the next question we'll have Cole go first.
Okay. So personally, I love to be involved, and I like to like take on huge roles, and that it would I like advocating for students, and that's all really. I truly believe that hearing like students' voices is something very important to me. So yeah, that's all.
Thank you. And then Cole?
Yeah, so I first knew I wanted to run for president during actually my first semester at Clovis Community College when I was just a senator. So the semester right before I became vice president, I decided to myself that I wanted to run for president. And that was when I was running and in charge of a committee that actually created an election for local officials that you would have seen on your ballot in November during the presidential election. And I was in charge of running that committee, and I loved how the decisions and the things we did had real impact beyond just your day-to-day meetings. And so I liked that aspect of just interacting how the college impacts the community. And I think establishing goals similar to how we did at the committee and accomplishing them, problem solving was just frankly one of the best feelings possible. And I think the president position puts me in a position where I can accomplish more, do more, and ultimately reach a better equilibrium for all parties.
Thank you. Thank you. And then so we're going to move on to our next question. Let's see here. All right. So we actually have a good question. Actually, these are two separate questions. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. Sorry, I was reading it right now. So Cole, I'm going to have you go first with this. Cole stated added benefits plus outreach to our various ethnic clubs and strategies to further improve ASG outreach. But how does he get through to students not already involved or students not paying attention to extracurricular activities like ASG? And then similarly, what strategies does Samantha think would be a good approach to that disconnected student population? Candidates, do you want me to read it one more time?
Yeah, if you could repeat the first portion,
Yes.
just so I have a.
I didn't read it very eloquently, I'm sorry.
No,
But it's a really good question. Cole stated that the added benefits of ethnic club outreach as strategies to further improve ASG outreach. But how does he get through to students not already involved or students not paying attention to extracurricular activities like ASG? Similarly, what strategy does Samantha think would be a good approach to that disconnected student population? So Cole, I'm going to give you 1 minute to go ahead and answer that, and then we'll move on to Samantha.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. And I think that the answer to that is honestly pretty difficult in a pandemic world. So just off the top of my head, ways to get students involved that necessarily aren't putting themselves out there and in extracurriculars would a lot of be in-person interaction. It could be a direct line of communication from the president. If I sent out my the presidential email address just to the general student body, if it was more heavily advertised on the website, just as long as you establish multiple lines of communication, because at the end of the day, you can't make someone want to be involved. At some point, they're going to reach a point, okay, how do I get an answer to this question? Or how do I solve this problem? And as long as you have several established lines of communication, so where it's easy to figure out, oh, I can contact this person and I can start the process to solving a problem, then that's it. So just to re-summarize, the answer to your question is have a lot of lines of communication, direct through the ASG, through the clubs to us, multiple lines of communication.
Thank you, Cole. So we are going to now have Samantha answer that. Samantha, I'm going to go ahead and give you 1 minute starting now.
Okay, so as like a Latin person, I feel like that I'm able to like connect with other people and like speak out to like the less like in the minority, and they're able to like connect with me, and I feel like I'm able to like heavily promote and like stand like be the voice that they can like hear all the time. And basically I can be the representation, that's what I mean. And I'm able to heavily promote all those stuff like through social media and stuff like that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know, we're actually going to get to one more question. I know that we're behind on time, but this, of course, is the for the position of president. And so I think that is very important that we're able to get to one more question. So another question that came from the chat to me, and it's a very good question. Why do we want to implement ethnic studies? And so I know that we kind of flipped back and forth. Samantha, you answered one first. Cole, you answered one first. I'm going to open it up to the two of you. Whoever wants to answer it first, go ahead. And this will be the last question for this particular position. But again, the question is, why do you want to implement ethnic studies?
I can go first. So I believe that we should like give students like an opportunity to get exposed to like the various cultures and have like respect for them. And for example, I feel like you can see this in many of students' career paths that they might take. For instance, if we like take into consideration of like a hospital setting, you know, like a nurse or like a doctor has to take into consideration about like the cultures or the religion that they heavily practice, or how their like conditions might have come from, you know. There's a lot. I believe that the implementation of ethnic studies would help. Yeah, that's all.
Great, thank you. And Cole, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that's a really interesting question. My initial thoughts on the matter is two things: opportunity and understanding. Clearly, the current social climate illustrates a lack of understanding when it comes to other people. And I think that's only highlighted by various ethnic differences. So I think, first of all, in terms of understanding, you have to offer ethnic studies just so people have the opportunity to gain that understanding, to go forward in a socially dynamic and ethnically diverse society in life. And second, opportunity. Frankly, ethnic studies are offered at most other colleges, and the fact that we don't have it is taking opportunity away from our students. So the two reasons in which you would want to have ethnic studies is, like I said, understanding as a necessary part of society, and simply just opportunity, because all these other universities and community colleges offer it, and we simply don't. And that's just taking opportunity away from our own students.
Thank you so much. Thank you to both candidates for president. Again, if you're a student and you'd like to read more information about them or their candidate statements, I'm going to put in the chat a link to all candidate statements for, again, all of our candidates. So thank you again to Samantha. Thank you to Cole. Really appreciate it. We're going to move on to the position of vice president. And we do have two candidates for vice president, one of which is not present. Oh, yes, he is present. I'm sorry. So again, going in alphabetical order by first name, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our first candidate for vice president, which is Alan Meyer. Alan, if you want to go ahead and...
Can you turn on my camera? It says I can't.
Yeah, you should be able to turn it on.
It says you stopped it. Oh. Okay, we're here. So, I will give a little presentation about myself.
Let me know when to start.
Let me share my screen, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
So, I'm ready to start.
Go ahead.
So, hi everyone. I am one of the candidates for vice president. My pronouns are he and him, and I'd like to introduce myself a little bit. Okay, so who am I? I am a recent graduate from Clovis West. I graduated last year, class of 2020. I'm a double major, or that's what I plan to be, for economics and computer science, and I have high hopes transferring to the University of California, Berkeley, for their business program and their computer science. Most people would know me for rock climbing because it's just so different, and it's just something that I've always been known for some reason. And so that's one thing. Recently, fun fact, I've been addicted to chess for about the past 3 months, and I just love the strategy and kind of just like turns different gears in my heads of different ways to approach a situation and different outcomes that could happen. I'm a member of the honors, the Leon S. Honors Program, the Alpha Gamma Sigma Honors Program. I've been a senator for the student government, and I am also a student representative in the Guided Pathways Committee, in which we try to figure out different pathways like certifications and courses, and trying to figure out how we could make the student resources more equitable, and so that everyone has a fair chance. What have I done in the past? I was a karate instructor at Fresno Tempo Karate, taught students from like 4 to all the way to like 60, various ages, and from all different belt levels. I was an altar server at St. Paul Catholic Newman Center. Lead altar server, I would help the I would be helping kind of the newcomers of altar servers and also the priest during mass. I was a confirmation leader at St. Paul Catholic Newman Center. I would help run the classes and be a leader on the retreats and like kind of help people find their light in God. I started a rock climbing club at Clovis West. A lot of people wanted to rock climb, and that's why I've been known for it. And so I found a way to get people involved rock climbing, and I teamed up with Fresno Unified so we could have little competitions at Metal Mark, which is our local climbing gym. And I've also volunteered at the Paul Borello House, the homeless shelter all the way in downtown Fresno. We help people who are experiencing homelessness and give them food and clothing. And so that's what I've done in the past. Unfortunately, due to COVID, a lot of these have stopped. Since I'm vaccinated now, I do plan on going back to some of these activities, such as the Poverello House. So I'd like to talk about my goals for the student government. I want to increase interaction with the college and student representation. I feel like our ASG right now is actually very small, and I want to promote the ASG a little bit more, and I want us to be more integrated in the college so our voices are really heard. I want to diversify our student body a little bit. We do have people of all various cultures, but I just want more input, more people, all different backgrounds to be in our student body, and I feel like that would be very beneficial. We would have perspectives from all different students with more people, and advocate for changes that would benefit students, such as the ethnic studies program, or ethnic studies courses, yeah. So my goals for community college, this one I have a lot for. To have more transferable courses. I've noticed on Assist that in comparison to like Fresno City College, who is more developed, that not all our courses, I would say, like general ed would transfer, and we're just a little bit more limited when it comes to our transferable courses. I want all students to have the resources that they would need to succeed. Our president right now, Amrita Dani, has advocated for a peer mentorship program, and much like UC Berkeley, student representation is very big there, and so having peers guide other peers would be beneficial to both parties, and I just find that to be incredible. And so if we could implement that program, I'd like to help with it. I want our students to be more involved with the campus, as in the Guided Pathways Committee. I want to like tackle different problems that are kind of like getting in the way of students, and trying to help them to make it more equitable, increase the presence of Clovis community because it's fairly new and like not many people know about it. Not all colleges are aware of it. And so my role as president, I would assist, or vice president, I'd assist the president. I'd be more active. I'd like to join more committees. I want to create more unity in the student government and just be a leader on and off the campus. I had to rush it a little bit, but thank you. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Again, just a reminder, we will have the opportunity to ask questions of Alan and our other candidate, Janeth, as well, after Janeth's presentation. So without further ado, our next candidate for president is Janeth Perez Rodriguez. Let me know when you'd like to begin. And Alan, you might need to unshare your screen. Thank you. Janeth, do you need to share your screen at all, or?
No, I don't have like a presentation or video.
Got it. Just let me know when you're ready and I'll press go.
Okay, I'm ready. My name is Janeth Perez and I'm running for VP. Right now I'm the activities commissioner for ASG, and I've been the activities commissioner since last semester. And for that position, it was kind of hard trying to figure out like what that means in an online environment. But recently I was able to hold a women's history poetry night event where some people came, they read a poem, and I think that was really like, I liked the event because a lot of people came and they got to talk about what that poem meant to them, and we got to celebrate women, and that's kind of my goal as VP. I want to focus on underrepresented groups, and I feel like as someone part of a community that's underrepresented, I'm a Latina woman, I'll be able to, I don't know, like have a better reach. So what Patrick, I, Samantha, and Gurdeep have started this semester was trying to implement ethnic studies. And it's been brought up in the past by past ASG members, but nothing was really done. And so my goal is to get it done and hold ourselves accountable to make it happen. And I feel like as the VP, I'll be able to have a stronger voice in making that happen. And Samantha is also a part of that. So I feel like helping her and her helping me will be able to get it done if we were to be elected. And we're both kind of like already have like a strong relationship. So it's easy for us to communicate with each other. And I feel like that's an important thing so that when we're making progress, we can communicate what we've done and what we plan on doing. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Janeth. And as promised, we're going to go ahead and get to a few questions. And I'm going to start off with one, and we'll do two questions. We'll start off, one person will start off with the first question, and then we'll have the opposite person start off for the next question. So I think we'll have Janeth start with this particular one. And this question actually came in regarding for the ASG presidents, but I think it's a good question for the vice presidents as well. And I think it's a good point. Something that our ASG has struggled with is connecting to older students. And so as ASG vice president, how do you plan on connecting with some of our older students on campus? And so you will have 1 minute to answer this question, starting with Janeth.
So I'm part of the Active Minds Club. I'm the secretary, and I've noticed that in that club, there's a lot of older students, ones that have kids, ones that have a career or job. So I've been able to talk to them, and I feel like as VP, I can bring the ASG to them. And like during our weekly Thursday meetings, I'll be able to like advocate, or not advocate, but try to persuade them into joining ASG so that they can have a voice, because we really do need their voice. There's like a large population of students that have careers. I have coworkers that go to Clovis community and like do like a full-time job, 40 hours a week. So I think as a secretary in the Active Minds Club and hopefully VP of ASG, I'll be able to, I guess, lessen that gap between us.
Thank you so much. And let me just do this here real quick to reset the clock. And Alan, go ahead.
So what could help like get more older individuals, I would say, into the ASG is kind of to listen to what they have to say. We could create focus groups, get surveys and ask what or why they aren't involved. We could ask more of, we could also improve like our communications with campus. We could kind of, like Cole said, he was advocating that we present the ASG more on our website through our email. The president could send more emails out to everyone and vice president, and we could kind of just ask for more involvement. And that's one step. Focus groups, we could also invite them to meetings, just get different like perspectives.
Thank you, Alan. And so we do have one more question that just came through from a student. And Alan, you'll start this one, then we'll go to Janeth. And so here's the question. Both Alan and Janeth advocate for ethnic studies as part of Clovis Community College's curriculum. What have you done yourselves to push for the integration of ethnic studies in curriculum? Do you want me to repeat that question? Or do we got it?
We got it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start right now.
I am advocating for more transferable courses and to have more courses within the college, but I've just been communicating with the Guided Pathways Committee of that we need more kind of like studies and different pathways students could take, because the questions that they're tackling is that like students are struggling with diversifying what they're studying. And so I think ethnic studies would be a great way to add for that. Unfortunately, I haven't done as much as Janeth in comparison for setting up stuff, but I believe it is a very good thing to have at our college as an option.
Thank you so much, Ellen. Now moving on to Janeth, same question, starting now.
So as I mentioned recently, I've teamed up with Patrick, Samantha, and Gurdeep. It's not like an official committee, but we plan or hope to have a committee with not just ASG members, but student members as well, because it's important to have the support of the students, support of faculty, and support from ASG, so that when we bring the issue forward to the administration, we have a good support system in the back, behind us. And what we've done so far is we've kind of laid out our plan for how to move forward and how to make progress. We try to meet every Monday, once a week. And so like right after this, I'll be meeting with them again to talk about what we've done. And so as far as what we've done, Samantha and I have looked at what other colleges offer and what we offer. And back in 2016, we had like one course offered on ethnic studies, but after that, like we kind of just forgot about it, or not we, but like the college.
Thank you, Janeth. Thank you, Janeth. Really appreciate it. Thank you to all of our vice president candidates. Really appreciate it. And now we're going to move on to what is actually our most contested position, Vice President of Finance. Does appear everyone wants to control the money. No, I'm joking. So we do have 3 candidates for Vice President of Finance. And our first one is David Hernandez. So David, I am going to do this here. And David, let me know when you're ready.
All right, hello. I'm going to be sharing a PowerPoint right now.
Okay, yeah, no worries. So you should be able to.
I click on like share content.
Share screen. You can click share screen.
All right, 1 second.
No worries. 1,000. I did get some smiling faces in the reactions. I'm just saying.
All right.
I'm really proud of that, Patrick.
Hello?
Yeah, we're still here. Are you able to
You guys
share?
can hear me? All right, yeah, it says I'm like broadcasting my screen for Zoom now.
Yeah, we're seeing looks like you're oh, there we go. We can see a presentation, but it's kind of we could see multiple slides.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so sorry about that. I don't know, it's kind of zoomed out. I was on Zoom earlier and it was like going through just like my drive. But so I guess this works, but
Okay.
So just like
I'm gonna go ahead and start the clock now. Is that okay?
yeah, sure, perfect.
Mhm.
All right, thank you. So just for my first slide, I'm running for Vice President of Finance. My name is David Hernandez. And for my first slide, just like sort of who I am, just an introduction as to who I am. In this first slide, it's like me and my family. This is about like I want to say like maybe 10 to like 12-year-old picture, but this is me and my family in El Salvador. El Salvador is the country that my parents migrated from. They left, I believe they migrated in about like the 90s during the Civil War. They came back. So they came from El Salvador around my age, around like 17 to 19. And this picture was probably like 2008, maybe like 2010. But so I'm here, you know, just chilling with my family. You can see like my mom's over there, like with my grandma, and my brother's kind of staring at me, and just kind of my cousins and my goofy uncle right there. That's why we're popping, you know, just absolutely, you know, just really being goofy, just enjoying our time. And then also this is a picture of me. That was a couple seconds later trying to open a glass Coke, which I was used to just, you know, like you open cans over here in the US, but over there they had glass Cokes. And my family, I guess they thought it was a funny idea to have me try and open it with my bare hands. So that's me. But so moving on, just like objectives as vice president. So one of the main things I want to do is probably just increase awareness as to increase awareness to a growing like income inequality disparity, just because the levels of income inequality that we're reaching in the country we're starting to get to like our like historical peak. Our historical peak has been the Gilded Age, which was like it was like the early 1900s, and then there was the Great Depression. But so right now we're hitting like historical highs of just gap between the absolute like ultra rich and the ultra like just poor. And then so another objective as vice president of finance is I want to mitigate the impact of COVID upon our student population. And I have like stats attached here from the Institute for College Access and Success. These are statistics from January 2021 surveys. And the statistics show that for college students in California, about 1/5 of students have experienced growing expenses. So they have to pay more. And from that percentage of students with growing expensive, they've also reported, like more than half of them have reported declining incomes. So it's a double-sided effect of 1/5, nearly 20% of our student population is experiencing lower incomes at the same time as heightened expenses. And so I kind of just want to put focus on that, because I believe that health and finance are the backbone of academic success. And I also believe that the COVID pandemic is really kind of out of everybody's control. And so I think this should be our main focus, is preventing like a backtrack of our academic success for our students. Something also mentioned within those statistics is that not only is there like an economic impact, but because of that economic impact, it also leads to college students having to take longer to achieve their degrees. So that's the financial impact of COVID is pretty much like my top priority. And then I also have like a third slide for objectives, and it's a chart, or like it's statistics regarding the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on minority populations. And so on that side, I'm kind of talking about how I think that an approach that the student government has to have is to apply proportionate solutions to disproportionate problems. So what this means is that statistically, COVID-19 has rampaged. The virus has rampaged through minority communities, not so much white majority communities, which would be like suburbs or just like higher off like economic communities. It's mostly urban areas where the COVID-19 has really taken hold and taken a grip, and it's just kind of extremely widespread. And the majority of deaths are like minority communities and things like that. And so an objective of mine is to apply proportionate solutions and kind of put the focus on our most disadvantaged and our most affected student populations as a result of COVID-19, which are our minority populations, like the Latino community or the African American community, the Indigenous community, or the AAPI community. And so for my last slide, just kind of like why me for finance? Why David Hernandez? So I kind of mentioned in my petition that I've been interested early on in like history, politics, social activism, economics. I was always just like really interested in that. I was never like an athletic kid. I always wanted to know more and more about what was going on around me. And so throughout high school, I would say throughout all my time in high school, I would be applying these interests to what I was doing in school. So like freshman year, I was on the debate team. So that just gave me in class time to research these like social issues, as well as various solutions that have been proposed to these issues. So as well as during my junior year, I spoke out directly against the administration, or I spoke directly with the administration. There had been a racial incident on my school.
David,
and
so sorry. Your
Yeah,
your time elapsed. I
no worries.
apologize.
No worries. Yeah.
and
Fine.
I accidentally allowed it to go a little bit, about 10 seconds longer.
Oh, okay.
So-
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no worries. So
Yeah.
I'll give the other candidates an extra 10 seconds too. So
Right.
that's my bad. But thank you so much, David.
All right. Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it. Now moving on to our next Vice President of Finance candidate is Shadi Hamiden. Shadi, are you ready?
Yeah, ready as I'll ever be.
Sounds good.
Sorry if my voice is kind of like, I know it's kind of like laggy, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds.
something
No,
with
I'm
like
just
that.
joking. It sounds.
Okay.
It sounds good. So
If it is, I apologize in advance.
so do you need to share your screen, or are you gonna present right there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna present it there. I wrote something up, but
Sounds good. So give me 1 second, and let me know when you're ready, and I will start the clock.
Yep, anytime.
Go ahead.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Shadi Hamiden. This next semester will be the start of my second year at Columbus Community College. I'm a hardworking student who is currently a biomedical engineering major. I'm interested in technology and science and hope my passions and skills, whether interpersonal or career-oriented, will have a meaningful impact in my field and is able to contribute to a more positive and innovative society. As far as leadership roles go, I'm currently a senator for CCC's ASG during this past semester, part of the Leon S. Peters Honors Program, and also a member of the Alpha Gamma Sigma. I'm a student representative for the curriculum committee at CCC, where we kind of go over like the available departments and courses we have at CCC and just kind of approve and make changes to certain programs and certificates as necessary. I have been in the leadership program at my high school for all 4 years and believe I am qualified to fulfill the duties as an impactful member of ASG in upcoming semesters. So why I want to be a member of the ASG Executive Board is because I feel like that the ASG Club is filled with members, especially right now, who are striving to make meaningful changes and solidify their impact on just the CCC campus, and which will better the experiences of the students throughout their duration attending it. I enjoy putting myself out there and will have the confidence to speak my mind in order to make positive changes that will be in the interests of the majority rather than just select a few. I think it's important to be part of a group willing to put in the necessary time and are dedicated enough to observe what they believe is happening on campus environment and relay that knowledge so we can pave the proper steps needed to create significant improvements for future students. My main roles I wish to uphold at Columbus Community is to be an example, not the person who thinks he is above the rules. I believe this is important to be a great leader because a person who is someone to look up to is not the exception to the guidelines. They're the ones who set the tone for everyone to know the expectations. I enjoy spending my time volunteering at my church for the Angel Babies Foundation, and currently work at Heinz Hospice on Saturdays because I feel the urge to give back to my community because it's given a lot to me as well. This is important because you need a certain work ethic to be able to benefit CCC and create a better environment for all the students in it. In an academic sense, I hope to maintain a 4.0 GPA while being involved in as many possible things on and off campus because I plan on transferring to UC Irvine to achieve my degree. As far as my personal goals for the desired position, VP of Finance, I hope to carefully manage our funding and utilize our sources in an informed and efficient manner, making sure to reach out to different groups, as well as being secure with our spending as possible. I have always had a strong suit in math, it being honestly one of my favorite subjects. And have kept track of money as a cashier at my church's annual Greek Festival fundraiser, if any of you are familiar with it. I'm interested in the stock market, and as of now, I'm investing in some companies, making sure to keep track of my personal finances. And I will be sure to take that same interest and care for our club's resources for any events and activities we come across or want to create ourselves. Overall, I'll be sure to be responsible if elected the new VP of Finance, and will be eager to receive feedback on where we all agree on distributing and concentrating our supplies to. Overall, I just hope that this has given you a good insight as to what I can bring to the table as your next VP of Finance with the ASG. It will be my privilege to serve the student body as a voice that is cognizant of every individual, which adds a significant contribution to our campus. I thank you all for giving your time to hear my speech, and will appreciate your consideration for electing Shadi Hamaydin as your next VP of Finance. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Shadi. Really appreciate that. And so now we're going to move on to our next candidate, Stephanie Bingley. Stephanie, let me know when you're ready, and I will start the clock.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Hey, everyone. Nice to meet you all. And hopefully you're all having a good Monday. So I'm Stephanie Bingley, and I'm running for Vice President of Finance. I'm currently double majoring in business administration as well as sociology. But when I transfer to a 4-year, I will study business. And in the future, I also intend to get my MBA, and I really want to emphasize on finance because it's one of my really great passions in life. So this role definitely aligns with my goals and my interests, so it goes really well. So as I mentioned in my essay, I love learning about personal finance, crypto, investing, real estate, and all that. So I'm always open to talk with anyone about that. So I'm always free. I'm very hopeful and optimistic for my role and believe that I can work with ASG to accomplish a lot for the student body in our campus. And because everything is considered to be distanced right now, we have a lot of time on our hands. So now we can actually be more dedicated and work more towards our goals to improving the school. So we have a lot of time, we can create a lot of change. And so yeah, it's important to consider that with this current election year. So especially with helping our students with monetary support, which is the biggest issue right now, to lessen the impact of COVID. So that's what I hope to do with my role currently. And so yeah, in addition, a main priority for me is creating an equity-based environment through my role. Essentially, those who need better support will receive it, especially minorities, LGBTQIA+, and our female students as well. In the past, I have been in student leadership roles in high school through ASB. So I served as a representative and a volunteer. And this position here would be my first at Clovis College with ASG. So I'm very hopeful and optimistic. And then through my work, I really want to improve our campus, and by specifically allocating the proper funds through our finances and budgets, because ASG is really, sorry about that, the most impactful organization on campus. Really what we do can affect the entire student body. So every decision we make is really important, and I hope to do that. And basically, we're going to be affecting the experiences of each student, as well as helping new students successfully transition into this college lifestyle, especially this altered lifestyle because of COVID. So we need to better support our students with our work. And personally, I intend to improve the organization by contributing to an inclusive, open-minded, really reflective environment that really takes into consideration of all values and opinions. So always going to have to take into consideration of everyone. And to help foster change on campus, I will work towards creating this optimistic environment. I really want to have really great communication with everyone and I don't want anyone to be excluded, or I don't want any voices to be silenced or anything. So I will always be trying to advocate for others, and I'm always here if anyone needs me during this role. So in addition, becoming a more equitable campus really starts with supporting the underrepresented populations through services and dedicating programs towards their success. So this is one of the core values of our college, and I really aim to uphold these values in my work as VP of Finance. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for all your hard work that Patrick and our interpreters are doing today to create really accessible events. So thank you, we'll appreciate that. Thanks. Good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stephanie. So we're gonna go to our first question. We'll do a couple of questions as well. So the first question is a little more generic, but I think it's so important for a VP of Finance, since finance, of course, is very specific. And I will start with David. We'll just go down the line that we went. Do you have any specific experience that will help with your position? So David, if you're able to go ahead and answer that, we'll give you 1 minute, then we'll give Shadia a minute, then we'll give Stephanie a minute. Go ahead, David.
All right, so for specific experience with regard to like Vice President of Finance, so I think something that I really learned throughout high school, throughout my leadership position, like I stated, treasurer of the pre-collegiate club, as well as the president of the Latino club and a member of the Diversity Council. I think through those experiences, something that I really learned was you want to speak your mind, and you don't want to conform to what's around you. If you see something wrong, like that was something I really learned through what I mentioned, the experience, which is there was a racial incident at my school, and the council, the Diversity Council, the messaging from that council was just pretty much like, it was like boasting of the racial diversity at our school, but it never really attacked the problem of racism. And so I proposed anti-racist campaigning and messaging. So things like that, like really just non-conformity and just like a straight arrow approach.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And then going on to Shadi, let me know when you're ready and I'll start the clock.
Yeah, sure, anytime. Yeah, I think this is a really good question. Yeah, again, kind of like how I mentioned earlier, I'm like for my annual church's Greek festival, I have ran as the I did like cashiering and stuff, and also again I've been in leadership for all 4 of my high school years, and I just feel like being aware of just like the environment, being able to speak your mind on things is really important as a leader, and I feel like I'm able to do that. As far as like, again, I also stated that math is one of my favorite subjects. I kind of like weird. I like numbers. I find comfort in numbers. Also kind of like trying to teach myself coding as well. So like anything kind of related to math and sciences, I'm just really interested in. So I feel like I can kind of bring that stuff to the table as your next VP Finance.
Thank you so much. And then Stephanie, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, ready? Good. All right, so in the past, I have had a business internship, and it was very informative. I learned a lot, and I especially learned a lot about finance there, which really helped spark, my passion for it. It was at a hospice company, so it was healthcare based, but I was working with the HR and the marketing portion, and a lot of it connects to finance. So I learned a lot about the budgets and how they basically take that to an approach to fixing their budgets to the needs of the organization. And this can relate to our college, because we do have a budget that needs to be properly fixed, especially with COVID. We need to basically provide the support where
Thank you.
it's needed. Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. Sorry. I always feel bad interjecting. So yeah, we have one more question, and it's actually a really good question. It is a little bit specific, so I think for the candidates, just give your best answer to it. What are some ideas you have for the ASG to spend money on? So I'll just give it a second here. What are some ideas that you have for the ASG to spend money on? And we're going to go back the way that we came. So I know that we started with David. So we're going to start with Stephanie this time. Then we'll go to Shadi. Then we'll go to David. So let me know, Stephanie, when you're ready.
All right, good. Okay, so right now we need more COVID relief, but as we're transitioning out of that, if we see in the future that we have, if we've already seen that the post-COVID survey has been sent out, so we may start seeing a transitioning back to normal life. And once that happens, we're going to need to support the students that are still underrepresented, unsupported, which are minorities, LGBTQ, all that. And we're going to need to support them through programs. That's the main thing. We have to have onboarding programs, transition programs, and really tuition fee waivers will really help as well. So we're going to need more financial support for those populations.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. And Shadi?
Yeah, going on with what Stephanie said, I definitely think COVID is a #1 priority. It has affected so many people, especially in our nation. We've handled it. It's impacted us really, really bad. But as far as for the students, I feel like having ways to kind of distribute money and allow for specific programs, and I feel like just kind of give people opportunities where they can kind of go into their actual fields and kind of get relevant experience to what they're actually learning for their specific majors as well. I feel like that's just really important and something that I also kind of want to do as well. I feel like just kind of getting that firsthand experience is you really can't replace that with any type of knowledge that you can even learn at school. And I feel like that's really important, and I want all students to be able to have the opportunity. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Shadi. And then last but not least, we're going to move on to David. So let me know when you're ready to begin.
All right, 1 second.
1,000.
Okay, so all right, I'll be ready now.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm going to start it right now.
So I want to tie this back to my previous answer to the previous question, which was what can you apply from former leadership positions? And so I just want to point out the concept of stimulus checks. You give it 2 years ago, that whole concept of just direct payments to people was a radical idea. It was you'd get laughed out of the room, you would have no support, and every single economist would tell you, that's extremely radical. I don't know how that affect the economy. That might raise inflation. But we see now inflation hasn't risen, or it hasn't exploded like they said it would. So I think new programs for economic relief for our students would probably be my go-to for new where to spend our cash, as well as kind of what Cole mentioned, added benefits, but not just to ASG, but all major clubs, community clubs, just to promote inclusion and just to promote people really getting involved and participation. Just overall, I think that's where the money should be spent.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the candidates for Vice President of Finance. Great answers. And so we do have a candidate for Vice President of External Affairs. She's the only candidate. She's actually not here today. Sarah Amin. So we don't necessarily have anything for her. But you can find, and I'll make sure to post it in the chat. It was also in the crush alert today as well. You can find our the candidate statements and to find out a little bit more about the candidates that may not be present. But we do, I believe he's still on here. Yes, we do have the candidates for ASG Secretary, Jacob. Jacob, let me know when you're ready, and
Okay,
you'll have your.
I'm ready, but I don't have anything to share, so I'm just gonna say some stuff.
Okay,
Is that fine?
not a problem. So
Okay.
just let me know. Are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Jacob Escovo, and I'm currently a freshman and upcoming sophomore at Clovis Community College. This is my third semester attending Clovis Community, and I plan on to major in biology. And I really want to get involved with medicine and just the healthcare profession. So in my free time, I volunteer at the Central California Blood Center because I'm overly passionate about helping people. My role in the program consists of taking care of the donors and making sure they're okay after they donate blood. And then on campus, I'm part of the Active Minds. I'm actually the president, and I've been the president since my first semester at Clovis Community. And usually in there, we just have a nice place to like relax and talk about your feelings and emotions. And then the position I'm obviously running for is secretary, and I want to be part of the ASG because it seems like a great program to me to make a difference and develop new friendships with peers. And I think it would be a great like option for me to start organizing and keeping track of the important documents that we have in ASG. And I just want to make a difference within the campus because I think environment plays a big role in better education. And I'm also a part of the honors program, and I think that's also helped me get better within my educations. And I just think bringing different voices and ideas to the table during this confusing time is good for the community and the school. And I think also during COVID and like right now, I think it's important to keep our students focused and engaged on campus and off by like providing activities, workshops, and bringing awareness to mental health for college students, and just creating a bunch of opportunities to meet students' needs. And I think Clovis Community has given me a new perspective on college and helped me grow as a person. So I just want to accommodate to everyone's different learning styles and provide students with equal resources to Clovis Community to make a more better campus. So that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, Jacob. I really appreciate it. We do have one question, and it is, where did it go? What is the one thing that you would like to accomplish if you are elected to this position?
Like I said in the speech, I think I just want to bring different voices to the table and just give a new perspective and accommodate to everyone's learning styles. Because I know with online right now, it's kind of hard if your teacher doesn't have like live lectures, or like if it's PowerPoints, or maybe they don't even have lectures and you just have to read it through the textbooks. So I think just creating like more learning styles for everyone that helps them like just get better with their education. I think that's, if that answers the question.
Yes, thank you so much. And really appreciate it. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for your statement, and thank you for answering that question. One of our other candidates, Andrew Arbaleta for Interclub Council President, he is not here right now. He's actually getting his COVID shot. So good for him. And so unfortunately, he didn't send me a video or anything either. But what I do have is for our ASG senator, the person who's running for senator, I do have a very, very quick video. Let me see if I can share it, that he sent me. And let's see here, I'm gonna have to optimize, share sound. There we go. All right, can everyone see it? All right. Let me know if you cannot hear this.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bradley Kennedy, and I am running to be your next senator. I am a former Clovis West graduate, business major, and an avid spike ball player. My goal as a senator is to propose legislation and vote only on things that put the interests of the student body first. I seek to make communication improvements for students, introduce new student activities, and establish connections with organizations in our community. Ultimately, I want to be your next senator because I want to help elevate your college experience and keep Clovis Community the best community college in this district. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate, I know we went just a little bit over time. I really appreciate all of our candidates today, and I appreciate everyone for being here. I'm going to go ahead and put my information in the chat. If you have any questions regarding voting or anything like that, please feel free to send me a message if I can type here. And then if you want the link to all the different candidate statements, I'm going to also put that in the chat for anyone to go ahead and look up and read more about our candidates. And oops. And if anyone else has any other questions, yeah, let me know. Thank you so much to everyone. Again, really appreciate it. Voting does actually start tomorrow, so please watch your student email. Pay attention to that, because the ballot will come out as a message in your email. So please, again, check to make sure that you get that. If there are any questions, shoot me a message. And thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate it.